We are an organisation that has been supporting survivors of sexual violence for over 32 years. We run the National Rape Crisis Helpline, but are only able to answer less than 10% of the calls that we receive. For counselling, we see 150 women a week, but our waiting list is now 196 women, and we've had to close our waiting list. In advocacy, which is support with the police and with the courts, we're supporting 102 women, but our waiting list is 70 women, and so we've had to close the waiting list. This means that we are having to turn away hundreds of women and girls who are seeking support. With the Me Too movement, more and more women and girls are speaking out about the sexual violence they've experienced, and we are seeing unprecedented demand for our support. However, there is not the funding to match. And this is the same situation throughout the rest of the country. This means that survivors are left to turn to the internet to try and find information, and this is often inaccurate, unreliable, and can be triggering. We want to use our unique knowledge of how to deal with this traumatic event to build an app that will empower women to make informed choices and decisions about how to manage their situation when they can't get support from anywhere else. This app will be able to respond to the unique needs of the individual survivor. This may be directing them to grounding techniques if they are in need of practical support at a time of crisis, or it may be if someone has recently been raped, giving support, information and practical advice on reporting to a police or going for a forensic medical examination. We have the knowledge and skill base to deliver information in a clear, empathic and non-judgmental way, which can challenge the myths that society presents survivors with. Our experience at supporting survivors means that we already know the pathways and the appropriate resources that survivors need. This means we can launch straight into the build phase. And that's when the ideas will be brought to life. Working with our development partners, DWYL, we would work in an agile way with regular user testing to ensure that the application remains true to the needs and behaviours of the people it is being created for. Our plan for the app will be that it will be easily accessed, easily shared, and it will also be completely open source and available not just to everyone through our app, but to other centres for whom it could be a precious resource and taking the pressure off them too. This project will in no way be able to replace face-to-face services, but what it can provide is an essential stopgap or a holding provision for women and girls who maybe aren't ready to access support or are unable to. We know that so many survivors, when they make contact for the first time, are feeling huge amounts of shame, of fear, of worry about not being believed. So by having immediate access to a proper resource that can help empower them and give them confidence to make that next step. Know that without the right form of support and without the right information, survivors use coping mechanisms in order to manage. And these coping mechanisms can be alcohol, they can be drugs, self-harm and suicide ideation, which is why it is so vital that this resource is created. We know how important our specialist support is.
Your kindness and support has been invaluable. It saved my life.
Thank you for everything.